Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I've partnered with Twisted Lily, one of my favorite niche fragrance boutiques, to bring you 8 head-turning fall fragrances. A couple of these are new to my collection, while others are classics. I basically consider them to be staples that I truly look forward to wearing this time of year. It's always difficult to whittle down lists like this, but as I was browsing the Twisted Lily website, for one thing, they have an incredible selection, some of the best niche fragrance brands, but I also love how easy they make it to shop for fragrance online, which can be very tricky, but if you're not ready to commit to a full-size fragrance, they have amazing sampling options. You can actually purchase a little sample. They also have so many different discovery sets from brands. Some of your favorite fragrance content creators, myself included, have their own discovery set. I was actually looking at my set and it contains 2 of the fragrances that we're going to talk about today. If you're not even sure where to begin, you can browse by different moods, including happy and upbeat, effortless and uplifted, sensual and alluring, elegant and sophisticated, warm and intoxicating, or confident and noticed. Another great tool that I love is the Match It tool. So you can select your go-to favorite fragrance. Maybe you have a current signature scent, and they will give you 3 different options that smell similar, or maybe they have the same vibe. I think this is genius, especially when it comes to gifting for the holidays, for birthday, anniversary, celebration, whatever it is. If you're looking to surprise somebody with a similar fragrance, you don't want to get them the same old thing. You want to help them expand their fragrance wardrobe. If I already know the fragrance my best friend loves to wear and I want to gift her something different, I enter it into the Match It tool. They will send me different suggestions, and then from there, I could even sample it if I want to. I just love how easy and approachable they make shopping for fragrance online. Gets rid of the intimidation. I'm sure many of you know about my ongoing coupon code with Twisted Lily, which is Erin10 for 10% off, but I have a very special promo code for you today. With the code Erin, you will get $30 off a purchase of $150 or more. I will make sure to link all of these fragrances down below, and all of this information will be down in the description box. I'm starting with a new favorite. This is new to my collection, but it's not new. In fact, you've probably heard a lot of people talking about it. It's quite popular. I've always been curious, but I just never tried it for myself. Well, that recently changed, and now don't be surprised if you hear me talk about this a lot. It's from BDK Parfums. This is Rouge Smoking. Immediately you can tell this is a standout fragrance because of the red juice. It's pretty unique. It just reminds me of cherry cola or a bold red lip, red stiletto heels, red nails. This to me smells like a quintessential fall fragrance. Part of the Parisienne collection, it's described as a sexy, deliciously naughty cherry and tobacco fragrance. Rouge Smoking takes its wearer out on the town for an exciting Saturday night. Fruity, ambery, and spicy, Rouge Smoking is inspired by the Pigalle district, blending sweetness and vivacity. Keynotes include bergamot from Italy, cherry accord, pink berries, black vanilla, heliotrope, ambroxan, cashmeran, tonka bean, labdanum, and white musk. I'm sure we can all agree that cherry as a fragrance note is getting a lot of publicity lately. She has a new PR team because it is popping up everywhere, and I am not complaining. It's one of those really unique notes that when done right, it makes an incredible fragrance. This is cherry done right, and when you first spritz it, it really does smell a little bit like cherry cola. And as the fragrance dries down, it just gets better and better and better. I love wearing this fragrance. It is such an easy grab. This to me is one of those no-brainers. Even though I wouldn't say this is an obvious princess perfume, I have a very distinct fragrance type, a fragrance personality that I know when I'm going to love a fragrance. I think this sits kind of outside of those lines. It's a little bit unexpected, a little bit like, ooh, who is she? Maybe because of the tobacco, but I cannot believe it took me so long to finally try it, and I'm basically hopping on a bandwagon at this point because I know everyone that I've ever heard talking about this fragrance has loved it. It's a little gourmand, a little edible, sweet but not candy sweet, and then it's so complex and it has so many other things going on. There's a very smooth, almost powdery quality to it that I think smells incredibly sophisticated. This is a fragrance I would wear to get dressed up and go out on a date night, maybe a night out on the town in Miami, which is very rare, but even a girls' night, a special dinner, a special occasion, any occasion really where you just want that confidence boost, you want to smell better than anyone else in the room, this would be a great fragrance. Holiday parties come to mind as well. We don't want to rush through fall and get to the holidays just yet, but this would be that type of fragrance that you pull out as kind of that perfect cherry on top of an impeccable outfit. And I think you could get away with wearing it in a more casual, chic kind of way. I could also picture maybe cool denim, basic white top, and maybe a moto jacket, something very chic, very trendy. The slick back bun comes to mind. It's an it girl fragrance, it just is. This is also new to my collection, but it's not new. It's from Juliet Has a Gun, and I'm so happy I finally discovered this fragrance, and I feel like this one caught me by surprise a little bit because I kind of stumbled upon it. It's not that I heard so many people talking about it. Maybe I am just incredibly late to the party, but I feel like more people need to be talking about it. More people need to know. This is Lady Vengeance. It is a beautiful, sexy rose fragrance. Described as the fragrance of a lady, a perfume with a rich, sophisticated trail, an expression of undeniable femininity, confident and divinely sensual. Keynotes include bergamot, lavender, rose, patchouli, and ambroxan. A thorny rose is probably the best imagery to capture this fragrance because it is rose. It's floral, it's elegant, sophisticated, feminine, but then you have the thorn there. The patchouli, the ambroxan, it's very sensual, seductive rose. A more mature, elevated rose, in my opinion. Absolutely love it. This is my style of rose. It's one of my favorite notes, but I love how this isn't just simply a pretty bouquet. It gives us a little bit more. It's a little bit more complex. Leaves us wanting more. It kind of draws you in. You want to keep smelling it, keep smelling it, keep smelling it. One of the more addicting rose fragrances I think I've ever tried and very wearable. I think the dry down is soft enough that it could be worn daytime, and I actually think this would be sort of the perfect everyday fall fragrance. Could be a nice signature scent for the season. The next showstopper on the list is La Capitale from Xerjoff. The way I would describe this fragrance would be taking all of your favorite things, all of the most popular notes, all of the best possible notes in fragrance, and just combining them together and seeing what happens. I wouldn't necessarily say this is just fall, but I think fall is the season that I'm gonna grab this a little bit more than the others. It's a bit deeper, heavier, it has a little bit more oomph, more impact. It's described as a modern yet romantic overview of Moscow. Keynotes include strawberry, caramel, peach, labdanum, leather, Iranian saffron, ginger, rose, amber, benzoin, and vanilla bourbon. Sort of smells like a party in a bottle. I do think this would work nicely for holiday parties, for get-togethers, and the dry down is so delicious of this fragrance, that warm caramel. It does have a smooth creaminess that's a bit cozy, but this to me is not warm, cozy, let's cuddle on the couch. This is, okay, it's time for me to get out, let loose, get loud, go out with my friends, and just have a good time. If you're looking for projection, longevity, something that is a real standout, nobody else is going to be wearing the same fragrance as you, this would be a nice pick. Poets of Berlin by Willem Parfumerie is another one with a bit of an edge to it. But this fragrance has become so popular. I think it's a niche fragrance that has mass appeal, but also is starting to break into the mainstream a little bit. I mean, I would say this is probably on just about everybody's list of favorite fragrances, maybe not specifically for fall, but it is beautiful and it's interesting. Little green with a fruity lusciousness right away. It almost makes your mouth water, and then the dry down is incredible. It's actually a tribute to David Bowie and the magnetic energy that attracted him to Berlin for so many years, described as a perpetual creative movement embodied in a bold collision of blueberry, lemon, bamboo, green wild orris, and Haitian vetiver. The blueberry and lemon gives it that zing, that fresh, fruity quality. But then it does have a touch of green, and then the vanilla and the sandalwood in the dry down. It's just the perfect, well-rounded fragrance, and every time I spray this and every time I wear it, I almost feel like I'm wearing multiple fragrances throughout the day because the way it ends is so different from the way it begins. and I love it at every single step. I remember the first time I smelled this fragrance, I was like, whoa, that is not what I expected. I had heard so many people singing its praises, saying it was the best fragrance, but you really have to just wear it to appreciate it. I feel like I've had a strong relationship built over time with Poets of Berlin because it was so unexpected right away. And it's difficult to compare it with anything else too, because it's a little bit quirky, I would say. Unique, artisanal. It is inspired by an incredible artist after all, and I think they captured what they were looking for with this fragrance. It's a standout, it has to be. This fragrance has a really interesting inspiration as well. This is Peregrina from Thameen, London. It was inspired by one of the oldest, most expensive pearls in the world. Once owned by Elizabeth Taylor, this is a fragrance that exudes sensuality and sophistication. Keynotes include rose, lily of the valley, gardenia, jasmine, artemisia, tea pepper, oak moss, musk, and tonka. Now this is a queen fragrance. It smells powerful, incredibly feminine, almost like a candied rose, but then it has the oak moss, the vanilla, a very different rose than Lady Vengeance from Juliet Has a Gun. Very different rose fragrances. This one's a bit sweeter, creamier, and less earthy than Lady Vengeance, and I would say Peregrina is perfect for evening. This is really a special occasion fragrance. There's something so warm and cozy about it. Maybe it's the oak moss, I don't know what it is, but it just makes me feel like cuddling close to someone. It is incredibly romantic. I know I've said it before, it reminds me a bit of Roses Vanille from Mancera, but a little bit more complex. I think this fragrance has a little bit more going on. It doesn't just smell like sweet roses. There's a bit more to it. I'm tricking myself into thinking it's about to cool down in Miami, but when it does get a little bit cooler, I will absolutely be wearing this fragrance. This is a longtime favorite, and I know some of you are probably sick and tired of hearing about it, but I cannot stop talking about it because it's just my style of fragrance. Delina from Parfum de Marly, and this is the original Delina. I also really love the Rosé, which is a little bit more aquatic, fresh. I would say the Rosé is probably best for spring, summertime, and then Delina Exclusive is another one. Beautiful fragrance, and I often go back and forth between them on which one is my favorite, but I almost always end up going with the original Delina. It's a little bit sweeter. It's feminine with a little bite, a little edge. I love the lychee, the rhubarb. It has really unique fruity notes that almost just wows you. Key notes include spiced bergamot, nutmeg, Turkish rose, vanilla, cashmere wood, and musk. To this day, Delina is one of the all-time greats, and I think because so many people talk about it and it really blew up and it became very mainstream, almost everybody who's into fragrance knows about Delina from Parfum de Marly. Now it might start to feel like a bit of a boring choice because there are just so many different options out there, but I find myself always gravitating towards it, and whenever I wear it, I feel like, wow, this is still a truly special fragrance, and I love smelling it on myself. That's just what it comes down to. I love wearing this fragrance. And I think as much as you want to smell good for other people, you want to draw compliments, wearing fragrance is really an act of self-care. It's self-love. You wear fragrances for you, the fragrances that you enjoy and you want to smell on yourself throughout the day. I don't think I will ever get sick of it. I don't think I will ever get over just how perfect this fragrance is. It's me in a fragrance. Oriana to me is more of the spring, summer, light, airy, fluffy fragrance, whereas this to me is a little bit more fall, winter appropriate, maybe exclusive, closer to winter, but definitely fall because it has almost maybe the nutmeg. It has a little bit of a baked goods edible spiciness that I really love. Just a gorgeous fragrance, Candied Bouquet. And the final two fragrances have been longtime favorites. You can find samples of both of these in my discovery set with Twisted Lily. We have Mise en Cire, Très Cher, and Reckless from Roja. This is a powerhouse fragrance. It is so addicting. Reckless has keynotes of bergamot, mandarin orange, geranium, rose de mai, neroli, jasmine, coriander, pink pepper, cinnamon, sandalwood, benzoin, vanilla, styrax, and musk. To me, it almost smells like a candied bouquet of neroli and jasmine. It's sweet, it's floral, and I love how it dries down on the skin and how long lasting it is. I would put this in the same family as Oriana from Parfum de Marly if that's one that you also really like, except that one is a little bit lighter, sweet, fluffy, whereas Reckless is a little bit more sensual. That's why I always think of this as an evening, cooler weather type of fragrance. I love the citrusy notes in the opening. It gives it a really fresh, vibrant, very energizing zing. It's very electric. And then it just kind of lures you in, draws you a little bit closer. As it dries down, it becomes very alluring with the vanilla and sandalwood, one of my all-time favorite combinations. An incredible fragrance. And again, I've loved it for a really long time. And I feel like it deserves way more attention than I think it's ever gotten. I will continue to hype up this fragrance until everybody's heard about it because it truly deserves spotlight. Last but certainly not least, we have Treasure from Mise en Cire. This is a perfect fall winter fragrance. This is cashmere sweater, a hug from a loved one, a hug from a family member. It feels warm, sentimental, a little romantic, but it's a pretty casual fragrance. I think you could wear this every single day. It's light enough that it could be worn all the time, but could also be worn in the evening as well because the dry down is just like cuddling on the couch. It's movie night, Netflix and chill. It smells like that warm, fuzzy feeling, and there's a familiarity about this that I really love. It just smells comforting. That is how I feel whenever I smell this fragrance. You know, fragrance is tied so closely to memory, and that's why we feel really nostalgic about certain fragrances, and they can remind us of a person, a place, a time in our life. I don't know, it's very romantic. It just reminds me of being in love in a long-term relationship. I know that is oddly specific, but it's just that sense of home. And that completes today's list of head-turning fall fragrances. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. I love hearing from all of you, so I'm curious, are you all in on fall weather? Have you done the big transition? Are you wearing all of your fall fragrances? If you are, let me know which ones are your favorites down below in the comments section. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything on my face. All of the information on my new promo code and the expiration date will be down below in the description box, so make sure you check it out. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.